Welcome back to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast. We review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today we're reviewing You're It, released in 2025, directed and written by Ronald J. Roseman. Twan, can you give the people the plot summary?
Crew filming a retro-style horror flick finds themselves hunted by a masked killer who turns their movie set into a deadly game of hide and seek. But before we get into our movie, let's go over some Haddonfield headlines. First up on the docket, as we mentioned previously in other episodes, there was a bidding war that was happening for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it looks like this has come to a close. As reported by Deadline, it seems that A24 have reportedly landed the film and TV rights to the franchise. If they complete the sale and it goes to A24, first up would be a series um, that Glenn Powell would be a part of. Now, I don't think it would be in an acting capacity. I believe it would just be on the back end of it. Um, but yeah, so Mark, we have the company that is now in control of Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the time being. We don't know how long this like the rights will be,
If
or will
they
they go
could just
ahead and
give
go back?
me a cohesive trilogy, I'll be okay with that. That's all I
Yeah,
need.
well, looks like they're starting with a TV show though. So,
A TV
well,
show? Why? What? Why are they making a TV show when they could just make? Is this gonna be direct to streaming TV? Because I can't see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre project on like network or on a regular
I
TV
mean,
channel.
it's A24. I don't think they put anything on network. I know because
Yeah,
we know the Friday the 13th show is going to Peacock, so it'll probably be on one of these streaming services.
I mean, I guess you can do a TV show, but is it gonna be like a prequel just about the family, how like the life before they became cannibals? Because this is what I hate about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, and I can't wait for us to review it. It's only because every movie is so different and everything is disconnected and disjointed. The only recurring character is Leatherface. But even Leatherface personality is different in every film. So it's like, where are they going to start this? Where are they going to take this? If they can just make one cohesive story that goes beyond two movies, I'll be okay with it. But I don't see where a TV show needs to fit into this. Just make good movies.
Well, I guess we will find out. I don't have anything to really say on this, quite honestly. I did think it was gonna be a movie they were going for, I will say. Um but shit, they got the film and TV rights, so I guess they're like, fuck it. We gonna do something different to start it off. But I guess we'll see how good that the Friday the 13th one comes out sometime next year. So we'll see what we end up getting out of that. But next on our reports, Insidious 6, Lin Shaye will star alongside Amelia Eve in next summer's sequel. Lin Shaye, as you all know, if you've been in tune at all with the Insidious franchise, she all of them except wait, she was in all of them. Now
No,
that I'm
she
thinking,
wasn't in the last one.
she was in the last one at the end.
Wait, what? I don't remember that. Oh, that's right, because she saw some demon or something at the end. That was the
Yeah,
cliffhanger, right?
yeah,
Okay,
something like
okay.
that.
If they're picking up for that from there and they're ignoring that family, then I'm okay with that.
Ignoring
I
what
want us
family?
to move on.
Oh well, yeah, they not.
The
It's not
family.
gonna be. It's not gonna be focused on them like Patrick Wilson and all them. No, it's not gonna be focused on them.
Okay, prequel. I can't remember if I gave it a cash or not, but I liked the prequel movie that we got. What's the prequel?
The
Yes,
Last
it
Key.
was. It was a prequel of sorts. I like that movie. I thought that one was pretty good. So like I want more movies outside of that family if done right.
Yeah, I believe it's doable. I mean, three was good, and that didn't have nothing to do with the family.
Three, okay, three was good. That's the one when that girl got hit by that car,
Hmm.
and that was unintentionally funny. But yeah, that three was good. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. But she needs to be a ghost or a spirit the whole time. I don't want no resurrection type shit happening going on. Leave her dead.
Well, I don't think they
Is Lee
resurrect.
Winnell back?
Um, Not to my knowledge. No, a director by the name of Jacob Chase will be directing this sixth
I
movie.
meant as Bex.
Oh, well, no, we don't know yet.
Okay. Okay.
I would assume so, but I mean, the thing with the city is, I feel like they could just pick it up whenever. To be quite honest, like they could just go. They could just also make this another story of a past case or some shit. It don't even have to be like she's just in the further. I mean, they can kind of just put it wherever they want and make another prequel type story of just a different case. With
And
her
what about
expect
that other movie that they had that they were talking about?
that is still happening. The one with Mandy Moore and Camille Nanjiani.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is still happening. It doesn't have a release date. I don't believe it's been filmed yet, but that is still on their list of movies to come out. So
Okay.
that's gonna be a spin off though. Then that would be called Thread and Insidious Tale.
And if I'm reading this
So
correctly, the sixth movie should have started filming today in Australia.
yes, and it is should be out August 21st of next year. Moving on though, Stephen King's The Long Walk debuted with an 11.5 million opening weekend. Um, the Long Walk had a reported production budget of around 20 million. So if it keeps some legs, good word of mouth, which everybody that I know that has either seen it or just word of mouth online has been pretty positive. As of right now, it currently sits at a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and many are calling it one of the best Stephen King adaptations. Um, so I definitely want to check it out. I haven't got to see it yet myself. Um, Everyone though, like as I mentioned, has been saying it's pretty good. Especially they said David Johnson was really good in there, which I mean, he's been good at everything so far. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Um, and also directed by Francis Lawrence. I mean, Hunger Games. Come on now. So I think this might be. I think this might get the legs it needs to get past that 20 million like
Excited.
budget.
I feel like this is Stephen King's year. Because The Monkey was great. I can't wait to review that. So I've been hearing good things about this. I am pretty sure Running Man's going to be amazing. So I feel like
Yeah,
this is
with
a good
Edgar Wright
year.
behind it, I was feeling that
Yeah.
too.
Like I think this is like, Stephen King was on a high between the 80s and the 90s and kind of just dipped off in the 2000s, but I feel like this has been his time. Like since I feel like all the Stephen King adaptations and movies have been good. Well, not Firestarter, but outside of that, they've been good. So I'm excited. I can't wait to watch this.
Hold on now, because that Pet Cemetery reboot.
That
Mm-mm.
was bad. That was bad. I don't blame that on him. That should have
Oh,
never happened.
I don't blame it on him. I don't blame none of it on him. He
That
just
shouldn't have
collected
happened.
his good check.
He really did. That shouldn't have happened. Um, yeah, that shouldn't happen. But I'm excited for this. And their promotional campaign though, like baby, I'm not running no treadmill the entirety of this movie. And then I saw that Janelle Monáe did a treadmill premiere for her friends. I'm like, it's, I'll be at the regular theaters. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this.
No, yeah, that's no, that's funny. I did see those. um, but yeah, I think I might enjoy this one. Francis Lawrence, he's pretty like I enjoy a good amount of his movies, and the cast is really good. They definitely got like a lot of the up and coming like young male stars in there that we been seeing in some other projects, especially as I mentioned David Johnson, who was in Alien Romulus. So
I've been a fan of his since Industry on HBO Max. So I've been
mm,
following him for a while. Like he's always I haven't seen him in a bad performance, TV or movie wise.
I definitely think people should probably check that one out. Keep it on the radar. Moving along, though, Saber Games say they aim to push the ESRB rating for the Hellraiser Revival game as far as
What
they
the hell is that?
possibly can. Huh?
What the hell is that?
What is what?
ESRB. What the fuck is
I
that?
said ESRB rating.
Yeah, I've never heard ESRB before.
Like
What?
your game's rating, M rated games, T rated, like,
Oh, is that what they call it?
yeah,
Child, I didn't
that's
know what
the
that stood
gaming
for.
one. They,
I ain't never. Oh,
they, it's basically the MPAA, but for games.
oh, I shit. I thought the MPAA was the same people who was doing video games.
No.
Oh, child. The more you know.
Yes. So Saber says they are willing to go as far as they possibly can to push the gamut to not get an adults only rating.
So
But
they want M17 because M17 is the closest you can get before you get to adults only.
well, in gaming, it's not the same ratings.
I'm looking. I pull up ratings, and they want to push it as far as they can to not get adults only. That's
Oh yeah.
the closest you can get is M17. After M17, it's adults only. So like how, shit, child, what? I'm excited. I feel like it's gonna be good regardless. From what I've seen, it's gonna be completely different from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Friday the 13th and this new Halloween game that's coming out. Like I think the Hellraiser game has the ability to outshine all of them. And bonus points is that the people who made those other games aren't anywhere near this. So it's gonna be perfect.
Also, it's single player. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing. Like the Halloween game should be strictly single player. But they don't want to do that. And that's what's gonna mess that up, and that's why Hellraiser is gonna succeed. But have you played any adult only games?
Um,
Because I played one.
n- I mean, I guess you could say I have like, but there's certain games that are like you play that are definitely like adult games, but they're not like rated like that on Steam.
Have you played the Playboy game?
No.
That is an adult game. That is it's a Playboy Mansion game, and you play as Hugh Hefner. It's a lot. It's a lot. You
But see,
literally just
like
rent.
the games that I play on Steam, those should definitely be adult only.
But those are like indie games that really don't get the ratings, right?
I mean, everything technically gets rated, I guess you could say. But yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't know if there's any newer games that have come out that's had like an adults only rating. Like I would actually have to look that up. Let's just see. Are there
But okay,
any?
so what would you want out of this Hellraiser game? Because like, you haven't played the Friday the 13 game, have you?
I mean, I haven't, but I played Dead by Daylight. So what's the difference?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you pretty much played that. You played at that point. You played the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. You played the F-13 game because they're all just copies of that. So it's like what I need. Art versus Sonic, but this one's gonna be different. just based off everything I've seen and heard so far, which is the main point. I just need it to be different because the only thing that saved or like really brought people into the F-13 game and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game was the nostalgia.
I think for me, one with this game, because the Hellraiser lore is a lot. It's too many, so many movies, all that shit. So I'm assuming this is. I don't know if they. Well, I'm going to assume it is an original story. So I'm just hoping that the story itself is good, and I hope that the gameplay keeps up. It looks like it's going to be like first person, kind of maybe kind of gun gameplay. So well, I kind of want to see how that's gonna be, and also just the visuals. Like, I feel like with Pinhead and going into like that kind of world, you can play with the visuals a lot. So I think they have a lot to work with in that sense of things. And also, like, I don't know, like, what if some of like the Cenobites that Pinhead usually has is like in like his gang almost? What if they're like boss fights or some shit is them? Like versus them. I don't know. That could be cool. So I think they have a lot to play with here. Um, but yeah, it's something different. I mean, shit. If we had two Saw video games back in the day, so we can make something work here.
And those were good. I'm not gonna lie. I love the first Saw game. The second one, but the first one was good.
So yeah, I think we can. I think we can. I think we can make some shake here, and hopefully they pull it together. I'm definitely gonna be looking at it once it gets closer to release for sure. Um, these days, I don't want to buy a game on release anymore. The studios will just fuck that up for themselves for me. So either way, it's but based on gameplay and all that stuff for me. Next up, though, I know we've been talking a lot about the upcoming Scary Movie 6, but another reveal from Marlon Wayans he has said that he will be returning as Shorty in this movie. um, which we haven't seen that character since the second one, since the Waynes, they left the series after that point. So I'm excited to see him back as that character. I'm wondering, like, is he gonna bring back any of the other gang from like the first or second one? Because I mean, nobody cares if somebody from scared. Hell, they kill Brenda every movie, so nobody. I don't care if like everybody from the past like scare movies came back for no reason, just because a new one was happening. It's just kind of
I'm
one of
excited
those
for this.
things.
I'm excited for this. I mean, I remember I
Yeah,
asked last week, like, do we know if they're coming back? And I, this is what I miss. Like, I need his brother to go ahead and announce that he's coming back. Like, just give us the whole original like crew. Like, give us the four people we want to see. Like, if we can keep having Gail and Cindy, Gail and Sydney in every Scream movie, shit, we could have these four in every goddamn scary movie. Bring it back.
I'm all for it. But that was just a little short one there. Next up, though, Warner Bros. Is reportedly planning Oscars campaigns for both Sinners and Weapons. Now, Sinners, obviously, like it's gonna happen. Weapons, that's where you're losing me. Um, I the only thing that could possibly get a nomination out of Weapons, not even nomination, then put in like an Oscar campaign behind is Amy Madigan as the character of Aunt Gladys. But besides that, um, yeah, no, I don't see anything else for them trying to put weapons towards. Whereas Sinners, they could put Sinners up for Best Picture, Screenplay, Director, Actor, Supporting Actor, Actresses. music, set design, costuming, all that. But yeah, I don't know what else I could see them possibly doing with weapons as like any type of Oscar nomination, and also probably makeup as well because the Unglass makeup was good, and then um some of the other parts of the
I
movie.
can
But
see
yeah,
a nomination. I can't see a win.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing I could see is a nomination for maybe her character. But yeah, anything else in that, no. For
Sinners,
me,
I could see
yeah.
Sinners. I could see Sinners possibly winning, but I also like. See, the thing is, I can see Sinners getting a lot of nominations, and I can
Oh
see
yeah.
Sinners not winning a damn one, which will cause so many issues. At the very least, because just going based off the histories of the Oscars themselves, and how the Oscars are, I can just see Sinners walking away with a music.
I could. Well, it depends on some of the
They
other movies that play out, but
Coogler
I could see it
Coogler's not
doing
getting
like.
direction.
No, I wasn't saying direction. I was gonna say probably like original screenplay, maybe.
Original screenplay, yes.
But I do think,
I don't know any acting in any acting Oscars, unfortunately.
I don't know what the supporting actors will be looking like right now, off the top of my head. But I can see boy play Sammy getting supporting actor.
A nomination, yes. A win, no. Because I'm just thinking about all the other movies that are out and the
Yeah, but
actors they have
but
in them.
what supporting actors are you thinking of?
I haven't seen F1, but I'm pretty sure somebody in there gonna probably get something.
Mm-mm.
Um,
I saw that, and
what else is? When did Mission
ain't
Impossible
nobody in
come
F
out?
one getting that. Mission Impossible ain't getting nothing for acting.
Well, yeah, yes. And then
That's not even like the acting was bad. It's just not getting anything for
you
acting.
have that. You have to think about okay. Do you have that biopic with old boy from Shameless from The Bear? That
That
screams Oscar. That screams Oscar bait
yeah, but
right there.
that'll be like a best actor. I'm talking about supporting for Sammy.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people in there supporting, and that they gonna get it. I'm just going based off. I don't know. This center should get a lot of Oscar love and should win several of them, but I don't think they do. Well, I will say sound. I will say sound design. Whatever the fuck that Oscar is, probably supporting actor. I will give you that. Probably.
Sound
Probably.
design probably would go to F1.
Yeah, probably. But what about do they have anything for like that direction? Damn. They have costumes. They got a costume for the costume department.
Yeah.
I, I don't have faith that the Oscars gonna be. They might be generous with a nomination, but they're gonna be stingy with the actual Oscar.
Well, we will find out. Um, I don't think the day has been set for the Oscar nominations next year, but yeah, we'll see about that. Plus, we got a lot of the end of the year movies, which are the clear Oscar baity ones. Also, I just thought about it. Don't Avatar still come out?
Hmm.
Nah, that's one that's gonna take us some shit too. Um, yeah, so we will see once we get there. This year's been good, so this is competition all around. To be quite honest, um, so I wouldn't be mad either way with some of the choices that get set in stone because this has been a pretty competitive year overall. Yeah, no, check any of those out, but I will kick it back to Mark as that is the end of our Haddonfield headlines.
Whoa, let's get into the movie that we're watching today. You're It. It is it's actually a brand new movie released this year. It's an indie film. Um, I saw some trailers for it a couple like weeks back, and I never paid attention. I always kind of just flip through the horror movies that are coming out that's going to be on streaming services, like random shit. So I kind of saw something, but then someone reached out to us and asked us to watch and review it. So here we are. And I mentioned this at the end of last week's episode, but I'm gonna say it here again. Yes, someone reached out to us to ask us to review the movie that they made, but we are always fair, truthful, and we are impartial. We will give our fair and honest opinion. And this was an interesting movie. I I have to say I was confused because it started off with some supernatural like undertones, and then all of a sudden it was a slasher, and I'm still confused. Like, who was the killer in the end? Was it the kid from the first scene? And who was that? Like, there were parts that I'm just missing. And this is probably gonna okay. I just was I love the sloppy shoestring budget 80s horror movies post Friday the 13th. Because if you dig, because you know me, Twan, I love me an 80s slasher. And there are so many low budget 80s slashers modeled after Friday the 13th and Halloween. They even just have random fucking holiday names for no reason. I reviewed one on this podcast with Elion, New Year's Evil. Like, it was a low budget 80s horror movie that you could tell was just strung together on a shoestring budget. And this movie wants to be that, and it's almost there, but it's not. Like, this has the bones of being a cult classic, direct to DVD, direct to video horror movie, but sadly it just needs a little polish. What are your thoughts, Tawan?
So yeah, I get no, I definitely get what you're saying. You can definitely tell this is um, you know, indie flick that just group people passionate about making. Kind of it's giving me the vibes when we watched the Mean One movie back in
Yes.
December. It was kind of giving
Okay.
me the vibes of that one. Um, just as like a comparison place to like put it at. Um, but I feel as though where this one kind of lacked for me was the big one for me was the length. It was I really felt the runtime of this one, especially that first half where it was really not much going on, which they were trying to like build up the characters and the cast or cast of people who were helping with the like in universe movie that they were trying to make, but the time spent there was really long, and once we got to the next
I was
like
going to mention that in the scenes section because
uh,
that section towards the like that's in between the middle and the beginning and the middle where they're in the woods and you're seeing people in groups of two and three like chit chatting and like just dumping exposition. I'm like, we literally just cycled through this entire cast of characters everyone can dump exposition on us. Like every single character had an exposition dump. And I'm just like, we didn't need all of these characters to give us this information. We just needed POV from like four characters. Like like I it and stuff like that is what dragged this movie along. Because like you could have a bunch of characters in a horror movie, but I don't need you to go in depth on every single character. Like taking it back to Halloween. Yeah, we saw Laurie. We saw Laurie and her friends. We got surface level information about her friends and got all the exposition and crap from Laurie. But her friends are still part of the plot. You had about 10 characters all giving us their fucking story. One one then lost the kids, and the other one is about to buy a house and jet set, and two people finna go to Hollywood on a project. Like, I don't care about all these people. Give me three people. And talk about
No,
a
that's
soft
no,
cop
that's
plot.
yeah, that's facts. Because when they were just kind of talking in circles amongst each other about life stuff, like it was really dragging. It was really dragging in those moments, and it didn't really need to. It, and then once we leave that, and it's like the next day, and then everybody's just dropping like flies. Which, in any other context, I'm fine. I'm totally fine with. But it was just like complete, like, okay. And it didn't even feel like in a different movie where you get built up with the characters, you get attached, and then we start seeing
No
people get dropped
competition.
off. Yeah, it just felt like it was the next day, and they were like, "Oh shit, we are an hour into the movie, and only people like there only been like two kill scenes. All right, we got to kill everybody now." And it was just like, and like it was one person died, then the next scene we're following somebody else and they're dead, and it was like literally whenever we went to somebody else, I was like, "Oop, I bet they're about to die." Then they died. Then we went to like another group. Oh, they're dead now, and it's like a little bit of what are we doing here? And as Marx was saying about kind of like the cop plot, like Sublime was definitely giving, you know, trying to give Saw, but not really. But also, I was a bit confused as well, as because it was a little hard to follow with what they were trying to figure out, and it didn't really come together as well for me, per se. There, um. So yeah, those are my like immediate thoughts on it.
I just feel like a couple more script polishes, and this could have had a decent script. The acting
Yeah,
is the acting is what you get, you know, in a low budget film. I mean, you go back to the acting in again, I'm going to Friday the 13th. That the acting in people was bad. All right, even Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon now is good. Kevin Bacon in that movie was bad. Any of those Friday the 13th movies you can pick is bad. So I
yeah,
just that part I can get past. It's a low budget film. Acting can be questionable. Some of our favorite low budget films, horror films especially, the acting is what it is what it is. But the script just needed something, some tweaks. Which brings me to what would you have changed, Tawan?
I would have. I would have taken out a lot in the like middle portion before we get to like kind of daytime, but also it felt.
The opening scene.
Oh yeah, I would say for me it felt like uh the nighttime was underutilized. I feel like we could have had people dropping off in the nighttime, and then during the day people recollect, and it was like, oh, oh, they're missing. Like I feel like the nighttime was underutilized for what could have been some kill scenes possibly happening.
I feel like we cut out that first scene and maybe go straight to, okay, we're going out. We could just show them arriving to the campsite actually towards like the end of the day where it starts to become night and they have the same like interactions, but it's cut down a lot more. And then at that point, people start to die off. And then we're just killing through the night. And the whole final act could have been like as the day, as the
Yeah,
sun is rising again.
and I guess that was another thing that I probably would change too. Like you mentioned, I would take out that whole portion of like them getting to like the director's apartment and they're talking about the monies and are they actually going to do the job, and then him giving them the monies like via Cash App, and then where they're going to be heading. That to me, I felt it added a lot that didn't need to be shown on screen. Like that could have just been implied. It's kind of one of those things where
Sometimes it's okay to tell and not show. Give it to me in passing. You
yeah,
don't have to show us everything.
and it's kind of one of those things where I feel some audiences now they don't really handle subtext well, and I feel like it's kind of one of those. This is what it feels like when you put everything in the movie for the audience. It doesn't. It bogs it down a lot. Because yeah, just like you mentioned, like that whole part could have been taken out of here, and we could have just gotten like yeah, when they got to the camp at night. Let's say they had already shot some scenes and stuff. When they get to the little campsite, and we talk to the team and all that, and they're talking amongst each other like, oh, like I forget the director's name, but oh, he hasn't paid us in like forever. But luckily, he did. Luckily, he finally did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have came back this time. Like it was just little. You could have just dropped little nuggets here and there based on their conversations that would have filled in those spots for us that we got at the beginning there. That would have cut out a lot. Like that whole portion was probably like 15 minutes at the beginning, when they got to his place and were discussing all that stuff, and we were just meeting people for the first time. We could have just naturally progressed to meeting them, but also everybody doesn't really need an introduction. Sometimes you just have people who get killed off. Um,
Like,
we make
just say they're
we make
part of
it a
the
name.
crew. Just say they're part of the crew. You got one of them talking about like, okay, I can't believe I agreed to do this shit again. He barely paid us. Oh, check your cash app. Like it could have been one of the crew members, and then they got bumped off 3 scenes later.
Yeah, just like because yeah, like you mentioned with Friday the 13th, like we don't know all the counselors. Like in some of those movies, like we just
We
know
we just saw them hunch a few times, and they got popped off.
exactly. Like everybody, yeah, everybody doesn't need to be. Everybody doesn't need a characterization. They can just exist
Like take it
for
back
them
to
to die.
sleepaway camp. Like we didn't know all them kids, but we still saw them get killed. We still saw them in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that I feel could be something to be changed there. Um, I feel a a better setup possibly for that opening sequence could have been handled because it feels disjointed when we get throughout the rest of the movie, or once we get to the end, of course, it all comes together, which we can piece that up, but I don't think the cop plot that's supposed to supplement that is doing a good job of it. I feel like if the cop plot was supplementing the what was going on portion to us a little better, it would have made kind of more sense. And
Honestly,
also, oh no, continue.
I needed one of them to be Crazy Ralph, and then the other one to be you know what they were trying to do? They were trying to give us Dr. Loomis and the sheriff from Halloween. And that's not what I needed. I needed one of them to be Crazy Ralph, acting crazy, being like the killer's out, and then someone just like not believing them, and then all of a sudden believes them. Because like what I got what they were going for, but they didn't do it right.
No, yeah, no, that's true. Um, Another thing that I would change, and this is like more of a technical like camera thing, is some of the scenes were a little too dark.
Hmm.
Especially indoor scenes, because I did start. the movie off on my tablet because I was kind of moving around the house doing some things. And then once I got to my TV and put it on the TV, it was like very dark. And then if you turned on the light or any light, it just washed out like the whole thing. Like it was super, it was super dark in those indoor scenes. So definitely a different little bit like lighting changes for those indoor scenes. And I get, we're trying to go for that feel of it being like really dark inside, but the some lighting can accommodate that to still keep that effect, but just make it more visible for the camera, or maybe just like some color correction, anything like that. Maybe could have done that as well.
Any kills that stood out for you, good, bad, or indifferent?
I will say like the kills, like they weren't they weren't bad. I thought that the practical use of effects was good. When we saw stuff, I thought like that was good throughout most of the movie. I did like that. I'm always in favor, with people trying to use practical effects. I think my favorite kill, which I forget the character, I did honestly, I will say I forgot a good bunch of the characters' names throughout this one, just because there were a lot introduced at one time, and I couldn't remember everybody. But it was the girl who got beheaded because she tried to run away after fighting back, which I always hate when a character does that. They fight back and they're like, "Oh, the killer's down. Like, I'm gonna run away now." Like, no, finish them off. What are you doing? But she ran away and then got like a sickle thrown at her back and then pulled back and beheaded. I thought that was a good kill. Um, Also, when it was like one of the brothers who was in charge of the place that they were going to be staying at, when he found like his other two brothers killed and then the killer got him. It was just a good use of practical effects there with the bodies and stuff that were existing. Also, when the killer just materialized out of nowhere to kill
Okay,
the
I
one
thought
black actress,
yes.
because I
But
definitely
like
thought she was about to get out.
he did that a lot of the times though, because he was killing somebody one place, and then next thing I know, he was on the bridge killing that one person. I'm like, before you
Yeah,
get somewhere else, like beating somebody else's head in, like I was so confused.
no, he had the Dead by Daylight shit going on because he was
That
everywhere
Jason,
all at
he's
once.
putting that shit that Jason was doing in fucking Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, because he was everywhere and everywhere all at once in this movie. This killer, and I was that was something that Mark had brought up when we were talking about it. It was like, is this supernatural or? Because I couldn't tell either when I was watching it. Like, it felt at certain points, it felt like he was just kind of like giving Jason type vibes. But then, like, as I'm watching, I'm like, wait a minute, how are you there now? And then we literally see him just materialize behind that one girl.
I think the confusion comes in with the what genre of horror this because that opening scene leads you into some supernatural shit, but
Yeah,
then
I
it's
thought
like,
it was like
okay,
a
is this
witch.
not what we're getting?
Yeah, I thought like, was this not a witch at the end, at the beginning, that caused this? Yeah, I was just confused.
With that, we're going to move on to the character section of this show. But due to, as already previously stated, there being so many characters and so many introductions and not really catching all of them, we decided that we're going to split them up between the cop plot characters, which is really just what, three characters we really saw, and then the movie crew. And with the cop plot characters, I want it to be interesting. I want it to be interesting. It was giving me. Have you seen Prom Night, the remake
Hmm.
with Idris?
Yeah.
That's what that's what I wanted from this. Like, just give me a little bit of the cops. Let them give a little bit of exposition about the character and the plot and the killer as they're investigating. but give me that sparsely. Like people are showing up dead, and he's making his way back to this area. Hopefully, there's no one in that area he can kill. Oh shit, a movie crew is there. Oh, let's get like do something like that. I had no interest in these people and the acting, and I couldn't follow.
We were following them first before it kind of switched up and we went into the movie like side of it all. But even when we were with them first, like I was kind of hoping that we weren't with them the whole time because they weren't like keeping me invested into what was going on. Like I don't think that what they were investigating was that interesting, to be quite honest, and like the characters themselves weren't character the characters themselves, like the main officer who we were following and the guy he had alongside him, they weren't really keeping doing much to keep me invested with like their investigation essentially. And I don't want to say like came off as boring, but I just don't think that what was like given to them story wise kind of like supplemented the rest of it. And also it didn't I don't feel it did a good job of explaining what was kind of what what they were really trying to figure out um throughout it all, because at points when I was watching I was like, wait, what was that? And I would go back a second and I still really wasn't getting it from those characters.
About the movie crew.
Yeah, now with the movie crew, I felt a little differently. I felt with the movie crew, they were, it was just, it was kind of just stuffed. And I felt like they wanted us to get, kind of get in with with all of them at once. And, maybe either pick our favorite character from the bunch or, just have an attachment there. But kind of as I mentioned earlier, every character doesn't really need a characterization. Some characters can just exist or, exist and have like one or two lines of dialogue or possibly just a certain description and a certain background that we get like bits and pieces of. Like, for example, in I Know What You Did Last Summer, they had Johnny Galecki's character who we didn't like, we saw him like very passingly, and then he eventually got killed off. But it still added to the movie, even though we didn't know that much about him, even though he was only existed in like three scenes before that, I believe. And he got killed off, and it was still like, it was still impactful because a little that short time we had to like build a rapport with him, and it's like, damn, okay, now we know he's not the killer in the movie, but damn, he got killed off. Like that was crazy. But I feel like with this one, they tried to kind of make not everyone, but make the characters feel a little more lived in a sense. Like we were getting backstory on one character about like her kids and this and that. Another one about how he just got hired for another, um, big movie. He tried to other guy on with them. One girl, like she seemed to have an accident because of her drinking. The one guy is the drunk. All these characters, they have all these stories, but nothing to really pay off with for them, especially once the next day hits. And it just feels like the characterizations went to waste a bit, in my opinion, because they had no sort of payoffs for anything that was happening with them. I think maybe if the story was something different and maybe something preyed on their like secrets or what they done in the past, like that would have made more sense. But I don't think what we got here with the group really supplemented of what was happening. But I wonder what Mark thinks.
I agree. I just feel like because there were too many characters, um, and they wanted us to know all of them. I ended up not knowing any of them, sadly, and I got
Yeah.
nobody's motivation. I got nobody's way of thinking. You could just have characters like not everyone needed to be part of the film crew. If I'm being honest, like I'm taking it back to I forgot which Friday the 13th it was. I think it was the New Beginning, where they had two characters get killed who never even interacted with anybody else on in the movie. Literally, a guy went to go pick up his girlfriend at a restaurant. She was a waitress. She flashed her boobs, and he was getting killed outside while she was getting ready. And then the fake Jason came and killed her ass inside the diner. They never talked to anybody who's at the campground. They had no interaction with them. They showed up for that scene to die. All we knew was they was a couple. She was a waitress. He was on a motorcycle giving bad boy vibes. She had big boobs. And we met in that scene. They died in that scene. And that's okay to do. We ain't got to know everybody. We don't have to have depth from everybody. Going back to Friday the 13th, they literally had two characters drive up in a motorcycle. Oh, no, they were in the car. Their car got stopped because of the rain. He got killed through the goddamn car windshield, and then she got killed outside in a puddle. They didn't talk to anybody else. We didn't know their names. We didn't know where they was from. We just knew they was a couple who was stuck, and Jason got them. That's all you have to do. We don't have to have these deep backstories for everybody, especially when you kill them all. Usually, the person you give backstory to is the goddamn person who lives. But you killed everybody. I thought that the chick who was trying to get her kids back was gonna be the winner. Because I'm thinking, okay, this lady is fighting for her children. Ain't no way she gonna be killed. She has to be the final girl.
Hmm.
Sometimes less is more. Yes, she want a big body count. My last example, but taking it to Halloween 2018. We saw that man murder a bunch of people. We didn't even know who the fuck they was. When he was going to everybody's houses, he went to that lady's house. She was on her phone while her kid was her baby was in the other room, and she got killed. She was only in that scene. We didn't see her no other time. Like that's all you need. I don't know. It was too much. Too many of them, and I got to know. I don't know anybody's name. I don't know who was supposed to be centrally important. And Tawan, I need you to tell me the story of the two killers.
I wish I knew.
So okay. So he was the kid from the first movie, from the first scene.
That's what I
He
gather.
killed he killed the other boy that was with them.
That's what I gather.
So the interaction with that lady that happened, or that so that happened, and he
I
was
don't know.
okay. That's where I'm getting like okay. So my first thought was that interaction happened, and he was freaked out and traumatized, and when he was attacking his brother, he actually thought he was attacking her, but he was so like scared what he had just said her, that he just blacked out. And that when he realized that he killed his brother is when he started the reality for good. That's my first thought. That's my rush thought. Second thought, she was never there. He got spooked by being somebody's creepy old house and killed his brother.
That makes the most sense.
Okay. Okay, so he killed some more people after that?
That now, see, that's where I get a bit confused. I think that's what the cops were kind of came into it because it was we know that they were trying to go for like a Halloween type of thing here. So I'm feeling as though it's kind of that Halloween 2018 type of vibe where, you know, the massacre possibly went on, was captured, put into a psychiatric facility for X amount of time.
Yeah, but see, I'm thinking. I thought he because the thing happened where he killed his brother, and then we immediately saw him being arrested by the cops. I was thinking that that was all within the same day, the same like within 2 hours. The other girls, the girl who was with them saw it. She ran home and told the cops came and took him away. But he has a body count before this movie. So like, did they lock him up? Did he get off and then he start killing people?
Yeah, see,
Or
that's it's those in between
or
parts that's kind of
it,
messing me
it,
up.
I'm trying because I also think okay, so he was locked up for insanity for this. One of the doctors was letting him out, but they didn't know who his accomplice was. I do remember the scene with the black doctors. From that, I got that somebody was letting him out, but they didn't know who.
Yeah.
Either way, he had some good kills. I don't know how he was evaporating to places. No, Harry Potter reference. I don't know how he was doing that, just appearing places, all types of. But he had some good kills, some inventive kills. With a couple more thousand, I feel like the kills could have been even better and showcased better. I was expecting 80s level gore with the acid being thrown on that one guy, but of course, we
Yes.
couldn't. They couldn't get that. Like I was going in like if we want to get something like I'm like this is where you put your budget, but I was like that can't be realistic. We're not gonna get that. So, but with that being said, Dwan, can you give the people the behind the scenes info and facts?
So your It was made on a budget of $30,000, and there's the box office information as this film was released for free on several streaming platforms, including Tubi. Some interesting facts: the film does star Walking Dead alumni Santiago Cirillo and Amber Dawn Fox. And they used a lot of local talent, stating this film was made for horror lovers by horror lovers, showcasing regional talent, authentic atmosphere, and twists that will keep veteran fans on the edge. Lastly, some critics' reactions. A reviewer from Medium's Damage Queen. By the time the credits rolled, I found myself wanting to tag myself out of existence just to escape the memory of it. Easily one of the most baffling wastes of a film budget in 2025.
Enough about them. What about us? Do we cash or pass? You're it. For me, um, I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a soft pass. Um, I'm not saying that this movie is completely horrible, that no one should ever watch it. Like, I feel like there's something here, and if they could just like go back and like re-edit the film and chop it together differently and take some scenes out and reshoot a couple of things, this could be a great movie. I feel like this has the bones to be a great movie. They have the ingredients to make some fire ass mac and cheese. They just ain't do it correctly. They missed a step or two. They tried too much, and the macaroni ain't as good as it needs to be. But this is a pass. Like, I'm giving it a soft pass because from what I'm seeing, this is pretty much everyone's first film. And I think with time, more script editing, more editing, the second film could be better from this team. But it's a pass for me. Well, what about you?
Yes, for me, this would also be a pass. Um, like I do give shouts out to the team because it is not easy to make a movie. Not saying like not. saying that from experience, but just putting everything together with the movie is just a daunting task in general. So those who go out and want to put them on themselves and showcase like their local talent, write the script, direct, do all of that, definitely applaud them. But just what we got with this particular project here, just don't feel that it really worked out. I definitely feel there, like with some changes, as Mark said, there could be something here, and we shaved a bit off of like the runtime, honed in on the characters that we actually want to focus on, um, like things like that. I think there'd be a little bit more here, but it feels a little bit overstuffed. Like you kind of feel the runtime with it. Um, the characters, we get like just a lot of them, especially when we switch over to like our movie crew. And I don't think the main like storyline is fully realized. Like I get they were kind of going for something of like a Halloween-esque story, but I don't think that you know however they wanted this like killer to be was like fully realized for it. So yeah, I will give this one a pass. But I do hope that they just take all the any constructive criticism we gave here, use for the next one. And we appreciate them reaching out for us to take a look into the movie.
And with that, I will say join us next week as we gather together and we give you our top 5 worst horror movies. I'm excited for that because I have a few. I have 2 on there that Tuan will probably want to fight me for. But it's my top 5 list, and I can't wait to hear his and potentially Elion's. But I won't know until next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elion Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?